Yay! Whole Picture Home is here. Welcome, friends. Welcome, welcome. Yes. Whole Picture Home is Charlotte, North Carolina. We are so glad to see you all. You're kind of neighbors. Kind of.
Hopefully you can hear us.
Yeah. I didn't check. I only checked the video. Yay!
Oh, yeah.
We have sound.
I realized my headphones were plugged in.
Ooh. Oh, boy.
That's my fault.
Yay. Hello, Dawn and my two arrows. Welcome. We're so glad to have you here. Happy Saturday night to all our friends as you all come in. Excuse me. Just got the kiddos in bed, hoping they give us a quietish night.
Charlottesville is beautiful.
Yes, in our neighbors, Charlottesville. Hey, you went from Charlottesville to Charlotte. Do you have any kids named Charlotte? Pets? Do you have a car named Charlotte? We named our van. We were just talking about it tonight.
You named this one.
I named it. Yep. The kids were asking when we were driving home. I said something about Jumbo Janet, and they're like, "Who's Jumbo Janet?" I was like, "Well, hi, Donna Donovan. Welcome, welcome. And the Grateful Sunnights. Hello. Jennifer Followell. Hi from Indiana. So happy to have everybody here tonight. It is so much fun seeing everybody come in. So we named our van. Do you guys name your vehicles? I mean, we named our van a while ago, but the kids just became aware of it tonight. She's Jumbo Jet, the party bus. Sometimes I get real formal and call her Jumbo Janet.
I don't remember the names of any of the vehicles.
I don't know why I came up with that name. It just...
Fritz.
Fritz?
Was my Sebring.
Fritz. Hi, Diana at Justice Acres. The Grateful Sunnights do not name their vehicles. I think the Suburban needs a name, don't you think? Ooh, I just got in trouble for chatting too many messages. My daughter thinks her name is Charlotte. I name everything Madison doesn't know. Oh, that's funny. Donna Donovan says, Big Red was our van's name, even though she was green. Big Red is a great name, and green's my favorite color. Does she have red hair? It's fitting. Hi, Miss Bonnie Dixon. Miss Bonnie's here. Hooray. Jen at the Grateful Sunnights used to name her plants. See, I can't keep houseplants alive. I can keep all sorts of things alive outside, animals.
It's kind of like
gardens,
kind of like naming a goldfish. It's like it's not worth it because it's going to die.
It's not even worth growing them inside because I kill them. I don't know why. Also, we always have cats and they use them as litter boxes, so that may have something to do with it. Let's see.
Blue
Jennifer
Betty.
Follow Blue Betty, a Betty boot plate that was my grandparents, and the car is blue. That's perfect. See, it makes perfect sense.
I would always want to sing Black Betty.
Can you sing that? I don't know that.
I don't think anybody knows the words.
I think you should sing it.
It's like, Black Betty, Black Betty. It's something like that. I don't think there's actual words other than Black Betty.
You just sang it. I'm really proud of you. 180 degrees from average is here. Hello, hello. Is it Ethan or Sarah or everybody? I think that Ethan and Sarah need to build some kind of time warp passage where here in Virginia we can just walk through this traveling gateway and instantly be in Ethan and Sarah's backyard, and we can trade kids and we can take care of each other's chickens and never mow our lawns. Let's see. Jennifer Followell says, I know about as much as you on the song. See?
I don't think there's words to it other than Black Betty.
Whole Picture Home says, our car, which is way too small for us, I named Pierre because I always sing the song, Pierre, Pierre, I don't care. Do you remember that song? Like 1985? I don't. We didn't really have TV.
She wasn't allowed to watch things or listen to things.
He was. He's the cultured member of the bunch.
Mostly 80s hair metal and hard rock stuff from my dad's record player.
Queensryche.
Queensryche, Van Halen, Boston, Black Sabbath.
We listen to the Maranatha Singers.
I don't know what that is.
Hosanna Worship. Keith Green. I grew up on Keith Green and Salty the Singing Songbook.
I know Salty.
Hello, Salty the Singing Songbook.
Salty.
Salty, that's right. It's like Psalms, but it's salt. Excuse me. I should always bring a cup of water in here because I swear when we start doing a live stream, I start.
You want Coke? I got Coke.
I do not want Coke. I make him hide the Coke back here because I'm a recovering Diet Coke addict. I used to drink it instead of water all the time. I don't anymore.
Now you just do coffee instead.
Black coffee. So we have had an insane week. I actually have about 5 videos filmed and got none of them edited or uploaded in any way. The big box behind us right there, that is the Christmas present from Grammy and Poppy, who are his parents, to the kiddos. We know what's in it. We are just, it's hiding in plain sight. The kids can't get into it without being real obvious, so they're not going to try to peek, but that's what it is. And they might watch this on the Roku tomorrow, so I'm not going to say what it is, but it's a Christmas present.
What do you mean they might watch it? They will watch it.
They will watch this. Yep. They love it when we put up new videos. But we haven't put anything up because we've been a little preoccupied. Why are we preoccupied this week, Josh?
Because I was sportsing.
Josh was sportsing. I say that like I'm not really an athlete, but it's true. What were you doing, Josh?
Last Saturday morning, I was playing basketball, which I do 5 to 6 days a week, so it's not
a lot.
It's not uncommon.
He works out. We are not expecting a baby. I should have put that out there right away because everybody's like, Solomon's almost 3. This is the longest you have not been pregnant since you started having kids. I'm not pregnant. Promise. No possible way right now. Absolutely guaranteed.
I am expecting a baby.
Expecting a baby, and he found it out at basketball. Yep, that's it.
And just so happened to get knocked over during the game, and a guy landed on top of me, and it dislocated my shoulder.
Badly. Not just like a simple pop out.
No, the ball of the humerus popped out and was underneath the glenoid, which is the socket, and was pulling up. So my shoulder was actually like up here, and my arm was stuck in place, kind of out in front of me, and it was a little gruesome and painful. And I had to go to the ER, and they had it put back in place using a pretty cool method. Luckily, they gave me what is that stuff called?
Propofol?
Propofol.
Propofol.
Oh yeah, Propofol was awesome. I don't remember anything. And apparently what they had to do is they had to take I only remember because they had to do it before I was out of it, but they had to wrap a kind of like a linen around me, so that way when I was out, they could kind of cinch me off with the linen and get it back into place.
Don't look at YouTube videos on putting dislocated shoulders back into place, okay?
And I'm definitely better. I got my arm out of the sling for the most part. I can do this. Hey, let's fingers. But that's about. I have to keep my arm kind of tucked against my body because if I move my shoulder at all, it hurts. Feels like it's gonna pop out. So next week I get to do an MRI and figure out what is possibly wrong in terms of soft tissue. Yeah, I think it's probably at least a tear of the labrum, which is the cartilage between the humerus and the glenoid socket. But yeah, regarding recovery,
3 to 4 months.
unless I need surgery.
That's longer.
So I guess I'll know for sure next Friday when I meet with the doctor to go over the MRI results. But I've seen, depending on how bad it is, it could be up to probably 9 months before I could. This worst case scenario, like if I require surgery, 9 months before I can kind of get back into doing some activity other than running and physical therapy.
Josh exercises a lot, and I put a little bit of it on our Facebook, but I don't remember how much I put on Instagram. He was in a really bad car accident in 2015. He was T-boned by someone who ran a stop sign. And how many discs were herniated?
2.
Was it 2? And then there's a third one bulging.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So he has a permanently damaged spine from that accident, and it is severe. And he was under multiple specialties of doctor care and physical therapy for a long time. And finally, they discharged him and said, you're doing everything you can, but this is permanent injury. It needs to be lifestyle at this point. So he exercises a lot because they said really the only thing he can do is stay lean and stay strong so that his spine has as little weight it needs as possible as it needs to hold up, and it has as much muscle as possible around it, holding it up. So he exercises, I don't even know how many hours because he exercises at work too. So he exercises a lot, 5 to 6 days a week to achieve that goal. And now he can do nothing for a long time.
Yeah,
That's scary.
I was tracking what I was doing because last year I overdid it and tore my calf in half. So I was kind of tracking it to make sure I didn't overdo it again this year. But last I saw, I was doing basketball 5 days a week, but it was 6 times over the 5 days because I doubled up on one of the days. Trying to think. So yeah, I played basketball Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, and then I went to a thing called Orange Theory, which is hit training.
Really intense circuit training, basically.
And I did that on Tuesdays and Thursdays, Mondays and Wednesdays. I don't know.
2 days a week.
2 days a week. And then on Thursday, I would either play volleyball or racquetball at work. So, and then I lifted weights on Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday.
Yeah.
So I was doing something every day. So now I'm not sure what to do with myself.
He can't do anything at all until we find out what the soft tissue damage is and that gets fixed. And we know something is going on because he physically can't make his arm do some really significant things. So pretty sure there's a disconnect in there somewhere. So the Grateful Sunate says, I have a special forces friend who works out a lot. He is ripped, but it keeps him out of a wheelchair. There's nothing else the doctors can do for him. Exactly. They told him he had the spine of a 60-year-old at that point, and it was only a matter of very short time before he'd be in a wheelchair because there's nothing they can do. He has to treat it with lifestyle, and that's like absolute best case scenario. Whole Picture Home says, I am dealing with an excruciating neck injury, and feeding my special needs baby with his myriad of feeding problems is making it worse. But I'm not dislocated. I'm so sorry. That sounds. I have a special place in my heart for you. Gabe was much lower functioning when he was younger, and he had significant feeding problems. So I can very much sympathize with you there, and I am so sorry you're dealing with an injury.
I think that's when your neck problem started too.
Yeah, I have a nerve entrapment in my neck that when it flares up, I don't even feel very much in my neck. I just get to a point where I can't. I have limited motion in my neck, but I have nerve pain that goes from about here down to the point, and it gets all the way down to my fingertips where I start losing feeling in my hand too. It's
and insane. I think it was from kids.
Yeah. Yeah, it part of it was like poor posture, getting used to being hunched over the baby belly and never getting back up. And then just the stress of taking care of kids and not taking care of myself that over time wore into this chronic injury.
I think it's one of those privileges of being a mom.
It is.
Yeah, you get hunched over at early age.
He says I've shrunk. He says I'm not 5'10" anymore. Or 5. Yeah,
You're
he
not
says I'm not
5'11",
5'11". I'm 5'10" because I've shrunk an inch for
But
having
hey,
babies.
I've shrunk too. I have 3 discs that don't have goo in them.
It's true. Like, lost that height. Yeah, nerve pain is such a bugger. It is a special kind of pain that it can be the smallest thing and be torturous. It's awful. Hi, Haywire Homestead. Hello, hello. Trying to make sure I didn't miss anything. Oh, Jen, you have a kidney infection? My goodness. Oh, is that kind of what you alluded to in one of your videos before that I think you said you were dealing with something? Disc goo. Very, very formal here. We keep it nothing but professional.
That's 1 semester of pre-med right there.
180 degrees. Some average says I've had major sciatic issues with each pregnancy. Yes, I have had it with several of my pregnancies, and thankfully I found chiropractic care during Aaron's, which was my 4th. And because I literally had struggled to walk, I was still in pain, but for the week after each adjustment, I could walk. That was wonderful. Haywire Homestead says, I agree. Nerve pain is terrible. My L5 S1 is bulging, so it pinches the nerve. Yeah, that's no good. He has a bulging disc, and I know they've explained to us why that makes it he would lose feeling in his feet and stuff. And, they explained why that would work. Ugh. Jen says we are a week into kidney infection. I didn't know they were this painful, but I started taking Demonos a couple of days ago, and I'm finally starting to feel better.
Demonos.
I don't know if that's how it's said. That's how I say it. I've only ever seen it on the internet.
Looks like Demonos.
Yeah. One of our kids is prone to UTIs, and that is the one thing. The moment symptoms start, I just start dosing that up. I keep a canister of it. It just, no matter what else we've tried, that particular child deals with urinary health issues, and I have yet to figure it out, and it's been years. Excuse me, but the Demonos is we found it to be very effective. So I'm glad that you're getting help. That is really good.
Regarding yoga, the only pose I'm actually flexible enough to do is child's pose. It's as far as I'm going.
And even that, you can't get that deep.
And I can't, no.
Yeah, his flexibility is rough. He has to work really hard to get it to what it is, and then he has to work hard to maintain that. So I would be interested to see if yoga, really seriously diligent yoga every day would help. But I mean, that may be his only option, in this shoulder recovery time, is to dig into that. Up until this point, he already, pretty much every day the kids wake up and they're like, is daddy home or is he at the gym today? So he has to work hard to take good care of himself.
I usually go to the gym early in the morning before everybody's up.
We have early risers.
Yeah, well, on the days I played basketball in the morning, I had to be out of the house by 5. And I was back by
and the kids
7:30, 8 o'clock.
Yeah, the kids get up at 6. But anyways, it's kind of one of those things where he is so diligent to exercise, and he's found things that work really well for him. So he's just not fixing what's not broken. Now he's broken. Maybe we'll see if the lower impact, but more focus on flexibility of yoga.
She thinks I do it to protect my back. I do it because I like to eat food, and I can justify eating 3 or 4 burgers in a week and an entire pizza if I'm exercising on a daily basis.
I have no comment on that. Oh boy, let's see. Let's read the conversation.
There's a chance if I'm out for 9 months that you're going to see me on next year's 600-pound life. We'll
In a
see.
wheelchair.
I'll be famous.
So, sponsor us, TLC. Oh my goodness.
You're gonna be seeing me getting craned out of the house.
Oh, stop, please.
I'm not sure how it happened.
Stop. I really like to watch like medical shows and shows about like human triumphs. So I like to watch what is that one on A&E?
The addiction one?
Why can't I think of it? Intervention.
Intervention.
I love Intervention.
It's very sad.
And I actually really like watching the shows about people in prison because I feel like they're the same as me. They just happen to make some crappier choices in life, and look how different our lives could be. And I watch My 600-Pound Life because I love watching the stories of like people transforming themselves and doing that hard work and all that stuff. And he picks on me because I don't actually watch like TV shows. If I have time to sit down and watch TV, I'm watching like a show about prison inmates or people who are struggling with super morbid obesity. That's why he's bringing up that show. He's picking on me.
I think, based on what I've read, females have at some point in their life have like a drawing to like they're drawn to the bad boys, like prison guys. I think that's why she watches. She's got a thing for prisoners.
Let's read the chat. Okay, we're talking. Let's see. Oh, I would take childbirth over kidney stones any day, and I'm sure an infection causes the same kind of pain. Yeah. I was talking to a doula client earlier this week, and I said, she was very concerned about the pain. I said, the thing is that childbirth is intense pain, but it's very different because it's going to end and you're going to get a baby. Kidney stones, it's just horrible, and it's going to be horrible until it gets worse, and it's still horrible. Maybe if you're really lucky, you can get a little calcium stone at the end. Yeah, I'll take childbirth over that kind of misery.
I think the difference is with kidney stone, you can get like morphine, but you can't because wouldn't it cross like the blood barrier for the baby if you were doing it during pregnancy? So you can't.
Don't do morphine during pregnancy, guys.
It's gonna cross the blood barrier. What's the blood?
Placental barrier.
It's got a different term. Blood barrier.
Okay.
Blood barrier. Something. Help me out here.
I know what it is, and I'm not going to tell it. I want to hear of struggle. Oh, Donna Donovan says that we're so
brain.
cute.
Okay. Yeah.
Donna Donovan says we're so cute together. Thank you. The Grateful Sunite says, I don't need a prison show to show me how my life could have been different. I have siblings for that. I have wonderful siblings who also lead very different lives from me. So I see that too. Not in a prison way. Well, okay. One of my brother-in-laws is a corrections officer, so I guess to an extent. Yeah. Hi, Lindsay from Bites of Memories here. Hello, hello. She's kind of a neighbor too, another Virginian. We got to meet Lindsay.
What if she didn't want that divulged?
I'm sorry. Don't tell anyone. My home says I said the same thing when I had gallstones. Oh, I'm so sorry.
The gall on her.
Awful stuff. So okay, see, I didn't give away their life secret.
Oh,
so
that's good.
How many of you got dumped on with snow this last week? That was another thing. He got hurt on Saturday. Sunday, we got 13 inches of snow. They said it was a record in the last 100 years. Insane. I mean, we don't mind snow. We're from upstate New York by Canada. Oh, by Lake Ontario. Most people recognize Canada as whatever. It's like Josh is your shoulder angel, but the good one and the bad one. That's only partial. I almost just hugged him, but pulling on the shoulder and stuff. I keep like the first couple of days after he got hurt, I kept hurting him because I wasn't thinking, and I'd go to like hug him and I would manhandle him and he'd be like, oh, and I'm just gonna walk away. I'm like, Oh, sorry.
That's a dynamic of our relationship. Is the fact that she can manhandle me.
I'm a little bit taller than him. Not as taller than him as this would appear. His chair's lower. Mine won't go any lower. Anyway.
We would have preferred rain.
No.
Snow's awful.
Rain is insta mud. Snow gives you pretty and then mud. However, in our area, because nobody owns snow plows because they don't expect snow, like it snows and then it melts 2 days later. So everything shuts down and they just wait for it to melt.
It's true. School, it snowed Sunday into Monday, right?
Friday, yesterday, was the only school day, like the only full school day this week, because they just shut everything down. Because there's just no plows to clear roads. So the people that do have to leave have a horrible ice pack that they are forced to drive through. And it's dangerous because even though there isn't much snow, the roads are not cleared. So that kind of complicated getting Josh to the doctor because doctor's offices were all closed. So I was glad that we were able to get him in on Tuesday because I fully expected, with offices being shut on Monday and some even Tuesday, that it would be really hard to get him in somewhere because, having to rebook all those cancellations. But thankfully he got in on Tuesday. It's just his MRI is another week out, and then it's going to be 2 full weeks before he gets to find out what's going on. Let's see. Bites of memory. We got like 7 inches. Thankfully, no power outages since we lost so much because of the ice earlier this year. There were a lot of power outages in this area. We were fine. I'm wondering if because Hurricane Michael took down the power lines in front of our house, because we used to lose power all the time. But Hurricane Michael took out power lines and they had to rebuild so much of this area and replace transformers. And we were totally fine in this storm. Like, is it because of all the new equipment out there from Michael? Jennifer Follow. I wish we would get a little snow just for a pretty white Christmas. See, that is one thing that I miss about New York, is just that kind of white Christmas feel that I grew up with. Like, just, I don't know. There's something special about having a snowy Christmas. And Virginia rarely has it. It's a muddy brown Christmas. But we also don't have snow October through April each year. So I'll take it. Haywire Homestead says, I wish we got snow. We are only getting rain. Yeah, we're getting rain now. It was raining all day yesterday and it's raining today. The snow's gone now because it's all rain. Bites of Memory says our roads get plowed by tractors. That's what ended up happening. We, I think it was Tuesday. It snowed on Sunday, and Tuesday, we just saw a neighbor out there with a bucket loader just scraping down the road all the way to the end. And he's from somewhere way down in the opposite end. We didn't even know who he was, but he came down from his farm that way, went through, came back up the other way, and that's how our road got cleared, just from a bucket loader. Driving dark, rainy roads. I had to drive home in the dark and pouring rain tonight, and I was like, kids, let's turn up the music and sing. I need to shut up the anxiety in my brain. I just can't see well because I'm old. When I know I have to drive at night, I wear my contacts because the glare, and it just, the vision is different and it helps. But I didn't know we were going to be out after dark, and I didn't know it was going to start raining again. So whoops. But we made it home just fine, see? All right. Is there anything in the natural holistic realm you're doing to heal Josh? Yes.
Yeah, she's giving me arsenic.
Stop. I got this stuff. It just happens to be here on his desk. This arnica gel. It has multiple homeopathics in it. That's supposed to be good for, he was playing with the box because it was on his desk here.
Well, I grabbed it because I read like 5 minutes ago.
Thanks, babe.
Sorry, I just can't type.
He can't. It's true. Yep.
I'm stuck to one hand, and
it's his left
hand,
all the
way
so
over
he
there.
Can't even like. He switched. He's got a fancy mouse, so he can switch it so it works.
Any mouse can do it.
whatever.
You just go into the settings.
But not if it's shaped that way, so it's like ambiguous. Mine is not
ambidextrous.
No, ambidextrous. I know what I'm trying to say, and now you've got mixed up. Anyways,
well, it's not ambiguous.
Okay, so it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different homeopathics in it that are good for soft tissue. My tongue is a hot mess tonight, and I'm sorry. And it's just in like a water gel, and it says you can apply it up to 3 times a day. And I was gently massaging in it, and he has the flexibility now. Like at first he couldn't like move his arm across because it would pull too much. Now he can reach and massage it on himself and put it right where it hurts.
It's a big deal for me to do this. It's pretty cool.
It is. See, it's like
I can't do it with my other arm.
You know, Ash's treasure is here. Yay! I'm so happy to see you. I'm so glad you got to make it. That is wonderful. Let's see. Oh, yes. The linemen out there during storms, I'm always like, somebody better be bringing them like cookies and Mountain Dew. Keep them fed and caffeinated, because they like, I have to work in the worst of the weather. It's I don't know. I don't know how wives of linemen do it, because I could not. It would be too stressful to my brains.
I am a lineman for the county.
I love how much he's singing for you guys tonight. I can't even tell you how often I burst out in a random song all day, every day. And I don't record it because y'all don't want to hear it. Like maybe a third of the time it sounds okay, but most of the time it's me belting it out and being a doof for the kids, and I don't record it. But I like that he's bursting out in a random song here for you guys. I miss our mountain Christmas. It was so gorgeous. Oh, Jen, I cannot imagine it. I've never actually been that close to big mountains in the snow and stuff like that. It's like a romantic notion in my head, like this awe and beauty. Jennifer Followell, ours lately seems to wait until the end of January, February. We usually get snow mid-January. Every year that we've lived here, it's like January is our winter. That's when it gets really cold. Our temps can get in the teens, and usually mid-January we'll get one big snow where it's like about 6 inches, and then it melts in 2 days. And then in February we have our thaw, and by March it's like we're planting gardens. But January is kind of our winter here in Virginia. Essential oils. I have not been doing much, because the things that really could be most helpful for him have to be like massaged in, or you can kind of get them to absorb, like the things that have to get really deep in there to help that. Hot compress to help it absorb, and massage to help it absorb. And I cannot massage him because it is too painful, and that's too rough. And we really don't want heat on his arm either. It needs to be ice a lot right now. So I've done a little bit of a blend from Young Living called Cool Azul that can help with swelling and stuff like that. I did that initially, but we haven't done much directly on his shoulder as far as essential oils. All right, I need to catch back up. Okay, I will check my email. Thank you very much. I have not been on my computer much this week. All right. Thankfully, Tim is now in the office for most of the storms, but he works crazy hours. He used to go out in storms. Oh, I cannot imagine. I'm glad he has a safer work environment during storms now. Maybe a less scary commute. The Grateful Sunite says, our first Christmas had several feet of snow, bright blue skies, and when I walked out on the porch, I thought I was on a movie set or in a snow globe. It was just perfection. See, that is the stuff, like the images in my head that just like, okay? Okay.
Just having some spasms.
I didn't know if I was like hurting you.
No, just muscles back here freaking out a little bit.
Anyway, I love the mountains, and I did not know that I loved the mountains until we moved down here and I saw our Blue Ridge Mountains. And now, like for my birthday last year, all I wanted was to be stuck in a car with all 5 kids for 8 hours while he drove us to the mountains and through the mountains and then back home after dark. And it was amazing. And I loved it. And every time there was like a photo opportunity, he'd pull over the van so I could hop out. Like we spent 8 hours trapped in the car with 5 kids, and it was the most amazing thing. It was exactly what I wanted because we were just having, it was just, I just sat and looked, and it's so beautiful. And I know you guys' mountains are even bigger and more amazing. So, oh, I can only imagine. Jen from Chaos and Grace is here. Did I see you before? I don't think I saw you before. Her. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to be a jerk. Welcome, Jen. We want you here. Yes, Virginia winters. They kind of have spoiled us now compared to New York winters. We're planning to go up to New York when my new niece is born in the end of February, and I'm kind of cringing because I'm remembering like what the end of February is like in upstate New York, and I'm like, it's like piles of brown snow, and everything is slush and coated in salt from the plow trucks.
See, we're good. Oh, it's just my computer likes to think for a second.
It froze with me in a really fantastic facial expression. I hope you all got to enjoy that.
It's usually how it works.
Now I've offended Jen. I'm sorry, Jen. Everybody go subscribe to Chaos and Grace. She's a sweet homeschooling mama.
Yay, we're back.
Yay!
Also, it's not a conversation with Megan if someone doesn't end up offended. So
it's true. It's true. In all reality. Come chat with me in real life. At some point, I'm going to say something that's going to hurt your feelings because I don't get it.
She has what is commonly referred to as diarrhea mouth.
That is a terrible way to phrase it. Diarrhea of the mouth? That is better. Diarrhea mouth? I have horrible visions of children doing terrible things at nap time when you say that. I've had too many kids go Picasso. Do not say that. Ugh. Back to the comments. Oh, bites of memory. Want to help me with the dog issue? Yoshi's jowls are staying wet and then they get raw. Now he has some infection going on with them. I got colloidal silver, but it hasn't improved. Oh, man. Gosh. I don't know. Why would they be staying wet? Do they normally stay wet and it's just the weather that's making them chafe? Or is there something? I would look at the cause. If that's not normal for him, look at the cause of that in the first place. I don't know. I know Cooper's got some raw spots because his he actually has the opposite problem in this dry weather. His bigger teeth are sticking to his lips. And then he gets like, it'll stick and he's getting a crease and then he's getting like a rough patch and then now it cracks and bleeds a little bit. I kind of feel like I need to get like doggy chapstick on him. Poor pupper. The Grateful Sunnites. You should look at Dr. Christopher's tissue and bone capsules. I've seen them work wonders. You can get them on Amazon and he can take 2 of them 3 times a day. Are we talking about
for me or the dog?
Are we talking about Lindsay's dog or Josh?
Both.
180 degrees from average says to the Grateful Sunnites Mountain Christmas sounds amazing. I agree.
What kind of doctor is Christopher? Is he a medical doctor or is he a doctor of philosophy?
He's probably a naturopath. Oh, he's probably a chiropractor. You know, they kill people.
It's true. They paralyze them and then they die.
Before anyone takes me seriously, I am totally joking. We love our chiropractor. It's just like every other doctor we've gone to for other treatment has been like, don't go to, no, the chiropractor will kill you. Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. Thank you. Go to my chiropractor and he takes care of things. Oh my goodness. Ash's Treasure says, one of my uncles helped make the road through the Blue Ridge. That is
Skyline Drive?
awesome. They have like these neat plaques all the way along with like the original stone roads talking about the history and the people that built it. That is so, so cool. Jen says they were, meaning that's mountain Christmases. I love our new home and it's awesome here, but I miss the mountains so much, and I think I will always think of them as home. I can imagine. I can absolutely imagine. I feel like mountains are just kind of one of those things that feed my soul. And it's really weird to like say that and try to explain it. But I can imagine if you grew up, well, if you became very attached to living very close to those majestic mountains, that it could be a very tender spot in your heart. Yes, I'm deeply offended, Jen. I'm sad. Okay, keep going. Are you homeschooling through December? Asks Chaos and Grace.
Year round.
In theory.
Year round as in 1 month or 1 week a month.
Watch it. No, okay. So
we're doing a new thing called non-schooling.
We're unschooling.
No, not unschooling. Non-schooling.
Well, you can say that because Virginia doesn't have compulsory attendance, so it's good. We're doing what we want, and they'll pass their test at the end of the year, and everything will be great. No, in reality, like totally full disclosure, and I have a video coming up talking about this. Our what is it, term 3 in review. We went on vacation in the end of September, and I was like all motivated when we got back. Hurricane Florence hit 2 days. It was 3 days before we went, right before we went.
1.5 weeks before we went on vacation.
You're right. I'm thinking Michael and the Homesteaders in America conference. Anyways, so we got home from vacation and I was like all motivated and had all like my lesson plans and stuff. And you all know Gabriel has autism, and he kind of, when he is having a rough time, it can dictate the tone of our house. And kind of when his needs are more intense, energies tend to go in that direction. And he really had a hard time adjusting after we got home from vacation. And then Hurricane Michael was the second week of October, and we did get significant storm damage, and we were dealing with that. And then honestly, I have had a really hard time getting back into the groove. We have done, I would say, 2 to 3 days a week since then, but it has not been, this week we did nothing. Like we were just hanging out, playing with Daddy, playing in the snow. But as far as looking at the lessons in the books, we are more than halfway. It's not a concern as far as finishing content in time because we started back in June. It's just, it's not been my idea of a successful sort of term. And I don't know, I'm wondering if maybe God knew what was coming with this school year, and that's why he really compelled me to do the year-round schooling and start in June instead of the end of August. So we're getting stuff done. This week we've done nothing. I'm hoping to do stuff next week, but then we're taking the next 2 weeks off after that. So I think we'll just do a lot of read alouds and reading comprehension next week. We'll see. Hey, everybody, let's talk about St. Nicholas. Whole Picture Home says, have any of your babies been miserable 24/7? We're on our 3rd autistic baby, and it's awful, although we've had huge progress with our oldest. Any advice? Any of your children had sleeping problems? You want to come meet Gabe? So I haven't done a video yet on this because a lot of people have asked, but the kids do watch our YouTube channel, and we purposefully make it family friendly. But I wrote a blog about it. There's a blog that I started years ago, like when Gabe was about 2, just writing about our experiences, because I wasn't finding resources out there. And at that time it was mostly sensory issues.
Round peg, square hole.
Isn't
that it?
Something like that. I can link it. But I wrote a blog about how one time he was nonverbal, so I didn't really think much about what I was saying to therapists and other parents and doctors and things we were going through. But then one day he just walked up to me once he could speak, and he just was like, "Mama, I messed everything up." And I was like, "What are you talking about, buddy?" And he's like, I messed it all up. I made a mess. It's like, well, show me your mess. I'm sure we can clean it up. And he's like, no, it's everything. It's everything. I was like, I could not. Then the next time I said something to a therapist, he's like, see, I messed it up. And I realized all those times I was saying he was such a hard baby, and there were so many struggles. I was just talking to therapists. I wasn't like shaming my kid, but he was soaking that in. And he was like, he knew when he became verbal months later, he was basically in his own way apologizing to me for messing up my life. So I haven't done videos about how hard his early years were. I'm trying not to cry in case that wasn't obvious. He's sitting here looking at me, and I'm like, stop looking at me. It's going to make it worse.
I was just waiting for a tear trickle so I could call it out.
I don't apologize for crying. I think we are supposed to show emotion, and it's okay to show emotion. But now you're going to have to sit here and listen to me going, sniff it the rest of the time. But yes, he was a very, very difficult baby. He didn't sleep. And unless he was really tightly swaddled and being held in my arms upright while I rocked in a chair, he did not sleep. He didn't sleep, and he screamed and he screamed and he screamed. And we had feeding troubles. And then we tried to start solids to hopefully help make that easier. Yes, I hear you. Email me.
During that time, I was also working nights.
Yes.
Like overnights.
Mm-hmm.
So she would also have to keep him quiet during the day, and I wasn't there to help her at night. So she was
I had postpartum depression.
She was put in a difficult situation.
Yeah. It was really, really hard. Let's see. I'll scroll up. All right. Dawn and My Two Arrows says, I say I have no filter. I don't mean to say mean things, but I do. Me too. I got you.
And a lot of times it's not that it's a mean thing. It's just that it's very blunt.
Yeah.
And if someone wants to take offense to what she says, they're going to, because she's not going to she's not gonna mince words.
It's not that I am pointedly blunt and be like, it's the truth, take it or leave it. It's, I don't know. Ever since Gabe started getting diagnoses, my mom has said, he is exactly like you. If he has autism, you have autism. And I'm like, I don't know. I never got services, and I feel like I am way higher functioning than he is. But, back then there was no high functioning autism. There was just naughty kid and discipline. So.
Yeah, you just smack the autism out of them, right?
Yeah, that doesn't work, guys. Just so we're clear. All right. Poor Cooper, can you melt some coconut oil on his food? Cooper eats boatloads of cat food. He won't eat dog food. We don't know what or when he eats. He also eats compost, chicken manure. Unless I smothered the whole world in coconut oil, I could not get coconut oil on Cooper's food. Let's see. Bites of Memory says he has a smaller lower jaw and it folds over. They are always wet the first time they got infected. Normally I can just clean it with soap and it will clear up. Oh man. Let me look things up and see, make sure that before I recommend anything that they are dog safe, because there are some things that are like not dangerous, but you should avoid with dogs, and likewise with cats. And let me just make sure, and I will send you a message on, because that makes me think it's like a fungus if it's staying wet and like constantly getting infected. Pardon me. I will send you an email about that. I know where to find you. Dr. Christopher was one of the most amazing herbalists in the US, and he was even thrown in jail back in the day because it wasn't okay to practice herbalism. Sounds like our kind of guy. The Grateful Sunite says we are doing homeschool light for December. That's a good way to put it. The kids do their handwriting books and math pages, and that's about it right now. See, and I feel like we do need to do math because that's just one of those things that my kids do better with repetition. And then if you have big gaps and then try to pick up where you left off, it can be a struggle. They got their mom's math brain.
But is there really a need for, I mean, I guess, unless you're doing a career that requires advanced math, you know, a physics field or something like that, is there really a need for
division? I feel like yes. I feel like every time I cook,
when we grew up, they said, you know, you're not always going to have a calculator with you, but we do, and it's only going to become more easy to do. At some point, we'll probably be able to just do it in our brain, not through thinking, but through some sort of app. So maybe spend that time, instead of doing math, doing something like
coding. I'll give them some computer
coding lessons.
There you go. I'll go give them the Osborne book on computer coding and be like, homeschool. 180 degrees from average says flexibility is a great reason to homeschool, so don't feel bad about taking advantage of that flexibility. For sure. And it's the teacher brain in me, because I was a teacher before I had kids, and I'm just like, we're not doing the school things. I'm failing my children. And I don't want, like, we're not like school at home kind of people. We are very much like doing what our kids need it when they need it. Oh, good night. I believe that's Sarah. Yes, good night. 180 degrees from average. I so appreciate you sticking with us. And Jen from the Grateful Sunites. Yes, it is. It's closing in on 9 o'clock here. And it still baffles me, our second live stream, how an hour goes by so fast. Let's see, whole picture home. I understand it's hard for us with our older children now, going through the younger siblings who scream all day and won't interact with them. He feels so sad about babies. I'm sure that is rough. I'm sorry. Yeah, Chaos and Grace says that was my oldest and youngest boys. We're just now doing developmental evaluations. Yeah, and Gabe was not diagnosed until he was 8. He had just turned 8 when he was formally diagnosed with autism. Before that, I mean, we've known since he was born that something was wrong. When he had just turned 2, he was diagnosed with profound sensory processing disorder, and it kind of got to a point in his development where they said, okay, this is officially not just sensory stuff anymore. There's something more, and it's significant, and he needs help with it. So that's when we pursued the neuropsychologist and all the evaluation that went into that, which was like 3 days and 5 hours of all sorts of things. Let's see. Dawn and my 2 arrows. My son has Tourette's and ADD, and the younger years were tough. Yeah. Yep. Did we come back? I see some people saying that we were gone. Boo. All right.
Well, the timer's still going.
Yeah, but it's closing in on 9 o'clock. and we should get going. But we are so, so grateful for all of you that hang out, and hopefully we will be back to getting up our regular videos and chatting with you all throughout the week as well, instead of just on for an hour on Saturday nights. But we thank you all for being here. And let us know if there's anything. Yay, we're here. Ash's Treasure says we're here. Yay. Let us know if there's ever anything in particular you guys would like us to do, either individually or both of us together. Any questions we can answer, or a full-length video to do. We are happy to. Our whole heart behind having this channel is not strictly like entertainment or vlogging. Like, we want to share our lives, but we also want to be a resource for families, whether they're large families or trying to live clean or sustainably, or like the mini suburban homesteading we're doing, or autism life, anything, homeschooling. We really are happy to share any of that, whether it's just to see how we do it or why we do it, so that you can just see. I know it's been so helpful for me to just see how other people do it and see if maybe trying something else might work for them, or seeing they do it a lot like us and being the affirmation that we're good. We're good right now, that sort of thing. So let us know if we can answer any questions for you guys. Let's see. Don and my two arrows. I think he has some sensory stuff. It's mild, but knowing I'm not alone brings some peace. Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you for your love and the prayers. We're hoping. He used to have a longer beard. I kind of miss it. Anyway.
Well, last one, I didn't have much of the beard at all.
I know. Hopefully, you all are a great couple and definitely still need a podcast. People keep saying that. I do not know what you mean.
Saying that.
No, not. Anyways. Great seeing you all, and a great night. Thank you, Ash's Treasure. I really appreciate you being here, and I will check my email. I will get on my laptop as soon as I get off here and check my email. Thank you so much. Bites of Treasure, have a great rest of your weekend. Praying for healing and answers for Josh. Thank you all so much, and thank you for being here, and we'll see you all hopefully on Monday with a new video and throughout the next week. Have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year and all of that, if we don't see you all before then. Wave in slow-mo.